This is Kal Kat, the Kal Catster. This is Kal Kat, the Kal Caster, and this is a response review thing to the worst movies they've done thing from Channel Awesome a couple of weeks ago, and Doug Walker read about his picks for worst movies and didn't include any of these. Uh, yeah, so yeah, some bad movies were like shooting ducks in a barrel. Cyber ducks in a barrel, huh? Yeah. So I didn't really go for them. Like, okay, yeah, the Baby Geniuses movies, they sucked, but obviously the Twilight movies, they sucked. Obviously, yeah. It's okay, yeah. But so yeah. I mean, Rebel Moon sucked, and obviously, but but yeah, I didn't like them, but that doesn't mean that they'd necessarily make the list. Um, for various reasons, Twilight didn't really make it. Cats was really bad, but it was, these are the ones that kind of don't make the list. That dishonorable mention, I guess. These are in no special order. Cats, at least Cats was funny. Kind of the same thing. One of the ones that is on the list, Battlefield Earth, is unintentionally hilarious because it's so bad. Cats is kind of that unintentionally hilarious thing. I noticed that when I put this list together, that a lot of these movies were probably colored by how old I was when I saw them and shouldn't have seen them. There's at least 2 or 3 movies that were done in the early '80s here, and if I'd seen them on video when I was like a young teenager, I shouldn't have been watching them. So that's probably why I didn't. I'm not advocating, oh, young people shouldn't watch, movies that are PG-13. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I shouldn't personally have been watching them because I didn't get it or understand them or whatever. And so that's why something like well, some of these don't make the list because they're not. Yeah, it's the understanding of. Talking to Mark's Cars last night about that. That's why Sideways isn't necessarily on there, but that was later for the same reason because I didn't understand the ending, and it was like, but yeah, the rest of the movie was fine. So yeah, that one wouldn't be on there. Yeah, it's like it's movies that were just so gratingly bad that Baby Genius. That I was like, oh yeah. So here we in no special order. It's not a top 10 list. But I'm going to read the order that I wrote them down here. Let's start with those '80s movies in order of year, I guess, because that's what I'm talking about. Kind of starting out. My Dinner with Andre. This movie especially irked me back in the day, partly because it's deadly boring. It's deadly boring. Yeah, and so yeah, there's My Dinner with Andre. The adults loved it. So yeah. Yes, adults loved it, and at the time, I was. When did it come out? Like '81. I think it got the Oscars and stuff and everything. It was slow and talky. And like, why the hell would you make a movie about 2 guys sitting down at dinner talking about stuff? Why would a director ever film that? That's like the most boring thing in the universe, talking at dinner. Well, what the fuck? but yeah, that's what they did. The critics loved this movie though, so it was like, well, it didn't get terrible ratings. But even now, decades later, no, it's still fucking boring. This movie is pointless. It's like, what? Why? It's just frustratingly pointless. What they were talking about was not interesting either. It was like, oh, you're pretentious fucks, and you're like in a thing, and you're like, oh, F words, pretentious F bombs, and it's like, who cares about either of you? You should just both walk outside, and a taxi cab should run you down. The last scene, that'd be great. Kind of the same feeling you get with the wine snobs in Sideways, but there they were trying to be more clever about it and making them unlikable on purpose. So that one, it's different. That's also different about War of the Roses. Same thing, unlikable characters in a different setting. That should be on the list, but it's a dishonorable mention instead because yeah, they were trying to do that. They were trying to be shocking and upsetting. That was the point. And that's why King of Comedy isn't necessarily on the list anymore. Not that it was that good, but because that was the point. The movie was supposed to be dark. That's why Lolita isn't on there. The point was that it's gross, and you're not supposed to like decades later make up a fashion thing about it or a TV show or something. But just using that name, it's bad title recognition. Don't do that. But that's not on the list either because it's not. It did what it was trying to do. It was trying to be offensive in that case. That's not on the list. Dishonorable mention for that one. But yeah, Dinner with Andre was just like and then years later, they sort of did a spiritual sequel called 6 Degrees of Separation, in which it was like, oh, okay, we're gonna have some guys talking in a room, but in that case, we're gonna get Will Smith and some charismatic people in there who actually say something interesting, and then it became a meme, an early meme, because it was like, oh, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. But yeah, it was originally 6 Degrees of Separation, but that's a different movie, so that was a better movie than Dinner with Andre. It was not fun, but it was a better movie. Oh man. Let's see. But yeah, there's no remitting qualities about my Dinner with Andre. None whatsoever. That movie. Anybody that says they liked that movie, even on Rotten Tomatoes, it should be a 0, but it's like 50%. I can't believe that. Well, it's probably all snobs that liked it. Screw them. Yes. Or don't screw them. Yes, just to be ironic. Another movie that came out in the 80s. So let's go there. Let's go there right now. The Last American Virgin. Now, this one is partly the same problem that Rules Attraction had. I saw them both on video. And the video, years later, I think I saw that. I think I saw Last American Virgin when I was like 17. I probably shouldn't have been. But no, when you were in that 80s generation, there were a lot of like grindhouse little theaters and regular theaters where the theater clerk didn't care if you weren't old enough to go see the movie. And we went and saw them. Went and saw them. So yeah. And yeah, it's like, yeah, but in the case of this movie, it was on video, so it was different. And the marketing was trash. The marketing was trash. The marketing decided we're just gonna copy Porky's and a number of other sex comedies and put that on our cover and make it look like a happy-go-lucky comedy. It's a drama. There's 2 jokes in it. It's a drama. It's trying to be funny. Granted, it's trying to be, but it's not. And there are no virgins in it. Everybody got laid. So the title is misleading. And yeah, it's about these characters who are misanthropic a-holes, like that other movie. But these a-holes are trying to get laid in the movie. But they're in a dark sort of dystopian world. And they're running around, sort of running around. They try to get a hooker. They try to get laid. One of them, of course, it's an 80s movie from the 80s. Shouldn't have been watching better. But I had seen it when I was 17 or 18, roughly 17. And so I was a little older when the movie was out in 82, looks like, yeah. Or 81. I didn't know the backstory of it at the time. And I think I mentioned this in the review. It was based on a Palestinian Israeli film director called The Lemon Popsicle. That's where they get the lemon term from. That's where it comes from. That was a drama. That had nothing to do with the coming of age, and it was a dystopia, basically. If they'd marketed it like that, if they'd said, okay, this movie is a dystopian, bleak future world type of, oh, the kids are crap. Sure. But it's still not a good movie. It's 60% Rotten Tomatoes. Half the audience liked it. I'm thinking misanthropic people like. The hero loses at the end. Everything's, I guess. It's a very similar ending to Against All Odds. Dishonorable mention on Against All Odds, although that is not a worst movie of the year. It's bad, but it's not on the list. It's odd that The Pickup Artist isn't on this list, but it should be. This is another one. In Against All Odds is a similar idea. I think it's a mob movie similar to Pickup Artist. I think they're kind of ripping each other off. It was that one year in the 80s where there were movies that would copy other movies around that time, and so there were like 3 or 4 of these different dystopian mob teen movies, and there are 2 of them. There's 3 of them technically in that time period, 2 or 3 of them, and yeah, Against All Odds and The Pickup Artist are very similar. And yeah, you got this guy that basically can't get the girl and at the end doesn't. Of course, in that case, it wasn't misleading. It's in the title and the song. So it wasn't misleading. It says he's not going to get the girl in the song. So, at least that one was not misleading. Yeah, I like the Hollywood ending, I guess. Let's see, here we have the Hollywood ending. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's partly the advertising, so that is a thing, but it's so dreary that even Oscar wouldn't want it. Yeah, this movie's dreary. Last American Virgin. Yeah. There's a better version of this movie, this idea. There was a 1990s movie called Kids, which is a better version of that movie. It says, okay, these guys are screwed, but here's their interesting backstories and stuff, why they're called that. They're doing these things. And you know they're going to be miserable at the end and druggies and stuff. But, yeah, going in. Kids is a unsettling, gross, creepy movie. Yes, but yes, not bad. Just creepy. But yes, shit. Okay, this is like shooting fish in a barrel again. Battlefield Earth. Oh, unintentionally funny movie, but oh my god. Scientology decided to make a science fiction movie, and they failed. You have giant Klingon guys, kind of like space giants in it. You've got Cyclos, yeah, and you've got took over the Earth, and you got Travolta making things that have become memes like friendly bartender and all that. Even Red Letter Media, that reviews one of the worst movies ever, did a review, like a spotlight on it, and couldn't get through it. It tells you how bad it was. It was like really bad. It's like, this is the movie that makes science fiction movies look bad. On a par with that Rebel Moon movie, that 1 or 2 thing on Netflix. I would say Battlefield Earth is worse, though, than Rebel Moon. There's much quality in Rebel Moon, but, man, Battlefield Earth. Wow. No. Yeah, the Cyclos take over the Earth. There's literally nothing in this movie that makes any sense. Part of the reason that they screw up the movie is that the series it's based on, the Battlefield Earth books, and then Invasion Earth, the prequel ecology, L. Ron Hubbard, is that the original took place in 2000, 25 years after 1975 when Battlefield Earth was written. So it was like, oh, that's okay. So it kind of makes sense for them to be able to fly planes. It created the meme. It did create the meme of training the dumbed down good guys to fight the bad guys by literally educating them, which is like, why would you do that? There's the meme there, the education to destroy your own enemies. It doesn't make any sense. So here we have the next one is the 1990 film Problem Child, which was John Ritter and his evil adopted kid. Just kind of a worthless movie. It was one of the Netflix, one of the Rotten Tomatoes ones as well. I went through the Rotten Tomatoes 0 ones and stuff to see whether I had actually seen some of those, and I had. I didn't grab all of them though. I did see the Baby Geniuses movies there, the other ones, and I thought, that's like too obvious. It's like, yeah, it is bad, but it's not like it didn't make me mad to see the Baby Geniuses. It was just. Yeah. Um, then we come to a movie that I walked out of in 2013. Saw The Arrest later. The Cooler. This movie was actually so mean-spirited and stupid that I literally walked out of the movie when they started beating a guy. Yeah. This is like a mob movie set in Vegas, a dystopian Vegas, where apparently it's a fantasy, where they have characters that are coolers, and they go in, and there's one guy, and he go to a hot machine and then make it fail so that people don't win. Make it lick a sense. Gambling aunt and uncle who were passed away years ago, they saw this movie and they're like, "It's stupid." They saw it too. They watched the whole thing. And they're like, "Oh, it's dumb." The ending, I guess, had Mark Cards eventually saw it, and he was all like, "Okay, the ending is kind of okay though, but it still sucks." Yes, I can see why you'd walk out of this. This movie's dreary and depressing. Yeah, and it's about this cooler guy who gets the girl, loses the girl. The mobs beat the shit out of him. Other people beat the shit out of him. He ends up but a cooler is not possible. You don't need a guy programming the psychically fucking over machines when you're in Vegas doing the luck thing. It'll do it anyway. Yeah, you don't need a guy to do that with powers. That's stupid. So this is kind of a fantasy. This is kind of shooting fish in a barrel too. The next one is Highlander 2: The Quickening, the infamous second Highlander that had nothing really to do with the first one at all. It was sort of a weird mishmash. The whole idea of the Highlander is kind of goofy, but this sequel was just bad. I didn't make me mad though. It was like, I wasn't really a fan anyway. Then there's Max Steel, 2016. That was a movie about a kid who has Guyver powers. Basically, he's like the Guyver, that manga character. You can turn into Metal Man. Yeah, it's a ripoff of the Guyver. It ain't good. Yeah. Yes, I did see this in the theaters. Jaws: The Revenge, after Jaws 3D. Infamous, 87. I would have been 17 when this movie came out. God, that movie was terrible. Funny, terrible in parts, though. I'll give it that. The shark in the descendant of the other shark from the other two movies, formed 3 movies, gets revenge. Literally, at least the title is not misleading in any way. It's literally what it is. But yeah, the sharks don't get revenge. That's dumb. It's about a killer shark. Next is Rollerball, which is sort of a ripoff of those rollerblade dystopian movies done. One of the remakes, the 2002 remake, not the other one. Yeah, it was just, yeah. It was just meh. It was rollerblade heroes in 2002 when clearly they don't do that anymore by then. And then there's another movie I probably shouldn't have seen either. In the 80s, when I was like 12 or 13, it's not really a kid's movie. It's kind of mean-spirited. It's called The Toy, and it had Richard Pryor in it. Yeah, another one of those grindhouse examples where it's like, I'll just go see this movie. It's called The Toy. It looks funny. It wasn't. I was mad about that movie, though. It's sort of like, he did funnier stuff. Yeah. There's another movie the trades kind of liked because they liked the build-up, but certainly not the ending. Harry's War, 1981. What was I doing watching this movie? There are better movies about a guy trying to get revenge on the system, falling down, and Postal's crap. But yeah, that should have been on there. But yeah, Falling Down is a better one. That's Joel Schumacher. Better version of this. But yes, this one is Harry's War. And in this, the IRS is out to get him, this guy. And it ends with him simply committing suicide. Great! He deletes himself. Yeah, that's yeah. Thelma and Louise did it better, because they just go off the cliff. that movie was better. Um, oh no, it's just fish in a barrel again. The movie that Whoopi Goldberg didn't want to be in, Theodore Rex, 1995. Yeah, dystopian dinosaur cop future. Hold on. Dystopian dinosaur cop future where, yeah, there's literally dinosaur saurian people in. Yeah, it's been reviewed and ripped so many times. I don't need to. Um, yeah. Um. Shit. Oh, and then I'm not gonna do this last one yet. I'm gonna do that last. I'm gonna jump to movie 43, 2013. The producers of this movie managed to get a bunch of Hollywood actors, including Hugh Jackman and a bunch of other, Kate Winslet, and a bunch of people, to be in this movie. They must have bribed them like a mob thing or something. This movie, and I reviewed it. The Silly Kelly version reviewed it. 2013. It's yeah, they meant Rule 34. I'm sure that's what they meant, and they couldn't get permission to use that title. That would have made sense. This movie doesn't make sense. It's trying really hard to be a funny, raunchy comedy. It does feature an early James Gunn sketch with an evil cat, but which is the most Kal Kat thing in it, really. But yeah, there's a sketch about a guy who wants to get pooped on. There's a sketch about we got Chloe Moritz. I think it was Chloe Moritz. Has her period. Great, that's funny. And it's on the wall. What the fuck? And there's like there's a daddy sketch. There's like a homeschooled kid sketch. These are like really. There's a superhero sketch that literally ripped off Robot Chicken from the year before. They did it better with Wonder Woman getting an abortion. There's just like, oh my god, this movie was really bad, and for many reasons really bad. There was nothing funny in it. The evil cat part doesn't work because it's literally a spoof of Garfield, but they don't have the balls to make it Garfield. At least when Seth MacFarlane made those Ted movies, clearly a riff on Teddy Ruxpin, he made it look a little bit like Teddy Ruxpin. I mean, but this, but yeah, that could be a dishonorable mention. Ted 2. But yeah, it's just it missed on every level. It just sucked. It was embarrassingly bad, and yeah, by then I definitely knew better to go see it. I usually don't go to see the modern stinker movies because I realize they're stinkers, so a lot of them are on there. Because now that I have the movies reviews channels and all that, it's like, do I really want to go to a movie that got a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes? I really want to do that? This one's not 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, though. I think movie 43 is somewhere up there in the teens in Rotten Tomatoes. Some people liked it. Yeah, then we come to the last one, which, in this list. The last one on the list is Rules of Attraction. For the same reason, rented on video later, 2003 or so after it came out, 2002. Same thing there. They marketed this, and I saw the DVD cover on Tomatoes, and it's the same issue. Bad marketing. Your dystopian horror movie about horrible people should be a horror movie, not billed as a comedy. It is a horror movie. This is a thriller horror movie. Not only that, they should have marketed it as what it is. It's a spin-off of American Psycho. Now, had I known that, I would have been like, oh, spin-off of American Psycho. Okay, it's going to be depressing. Yeah. Now, there was an American Psycho 2 that also came out, but that wasn't the same director. Yeah. And there's a Laws of Attraction as well. That's a different movie. Didn't see it. But yeah, that was my take on it. Movies. Yeah. Worst movies. See, my list didn't include any of the movies that... I think Theodore Rex was on the channel last one, but none of those other ones. But it's like, yeah, maybe he liked those. I don't know. He liked Secret of NIMH 2. That was one of my worst movies. But That was not a good movie, but most of those things are. Dishonorable mention to the live-action Snow White and the live-action Lion King, for obvious reasons. Annoying actors ruining your movie and bad CGI, basically. Yeah, the movies are like shooting fish in a barrel. That was the worst movie